You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming out to the podcast. Appreciate it.
No problem.
You bet. So today we have Willie Estes, Matt Estes from Rosebud Tractor on the podcast. What I like to do, because I am a big person on the journey, on everybody's journey. Now, correct me where I'm wrong here, because you guys didn't start Rosebud Tractor.
No.
So who started Rosebud Tractor? And do you guys know what year it was started?
I'll tell you what I know. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but it started with Grishevsky tractor, and it was a Waymire tractor way back in when Waymires sold Ford trucks and cars in Rosebud, and then Henry Ford come along with this line of tractors and like, hey, you need to be a dealer, so they put them down below kind of where the body shop and all that was at back there. Now there was a little brick building.
So the people that are watching that maybe aren't from Rosebud,
yeah,
they're in Rosebud. It's a small little town, 300-400 people, and there was used to be just up until like 4 or 5 years ago a Ford dealership.
correct.
A big Ford dealership.
Right.
So that's where they started out, is at that Ford dealership, and you guys just live an eighth mile down the road now,
Yeah.
or open an eighth mile down the road. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Grishevsky boys was Richard and Fred Grishevsky bought it from the Waymires, ran their business behind the Waymire Motors for a while, and in 1962, the building we're currently in was a Missouri State Highway shed.
Oh, like a MoDOT shed.
MoDOT shed. And
Oh,
they
okay.
sold it to the Grishevskys, and they moved their tractor dealership up there in 1962. And we bought it from Grishevskys in 1990, October of 1990.
Wow.
So we've been there for 32 years.
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that at all. See,
Yeah.
because I was born in '92, so it's, for my entire life, it's been Rosebud Tractor.
Right.
You know, the Estes have owned it my entire life.
Yeah.
So it went from what was their last name?
Grishevskys.
Oh, that's a hard one to say.
Yeah.
And then they sold it to. I'm not even going to try to.
Grishevsky sold it to us.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
In
So
1990,
Waymires owned it before.
Waymires had it before, and they sold to the Grishevsky brothers.
Okay. Okay, interesting. But so at first it wasn't New Holland.
It was only Ford tractor, and Ford tractor had a lot of their own implements. They had plows and discs and balers and combines and all that stuff, and everything was small. But then they wanted a square baler line, so they had New Holland square balers they added to the line.
Oh, okay. So that's how New Holland.
That's how New Holland got into the Ford being at our dealership. Well, in 1984, Ford Motor Company purchased New Holland hay equipment. But there were several John Deere dealerships, Alice Chalmers dealerships. There were just standalone New Holland dealers that were just sold New Holland balers and stuff, you know. And then they become part of the Ford family, you know.
So does Ford have any tractors anymore? Or are they out of that business?
So Ford Motor Company in, I think it was 1990, sold their tractor lineup and New Holland to Fiat Corporation.
Oh, okay.
In 1990, and their agreement where they were allowed to keep the Ford name for 10 years. So it had Ford on it, and then it had New Holland in a small sticker below it. And then in the late 90s, the New Holland became on top, and the Ford was down small. And in 1999, the Ford Oval disappeared off the front, and it was just New Holland. So now it's just New Holland tractor.
So whoever owned New Holland basically bought them out.
Yeah.
So now it's just
Fiat,
straight New Holland.
Fiat Corporation.
So New Holland's owned by Fiat Corporation?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
And
That's
in
interesting.
1999, they thought they made enough money. They bought Case IH.
Oh, really?
So
But that's still a brand, right?
yes,
Oh, yeah.
Still a
yes.
manufacturer.
Yes.
But do you guys sell that as well?
No.
You guys don't sell that.
No.
Because there's not around our area, there's not a lot of, surprisingly enough, there's not a lot of big tractor dealerships.
No.
We have one more in Mount Sterling, right? Are they still there?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then other than that, there's really not much going on. Now you guys have a location in Rosebud and Lynn,
Lynn.
Yeah.
right? And any other locations?
This spring we bought Morrison dealership, Bachting.
Oh, okay. Cool. So Morrison's over towards the Washington
It's
area.
Herman.
Oh, Herman. Okay.
Gasconade area.
That's right. That's
Close to
right.
Chamois.
Yeah, that'd be a great spot for it.
Yeah.
Well, and it was just interesting to me because most of this especially out, it's all rural areas. You know, a ton of farmers. I went to a pumpkin patch this last weekend, and up in it was like right across over in Granite City.
Oh.
And so it's like by East St. Louis. But even out of East St. Louis, if you're driving down the freeway, there's still lots of farm field.
God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lots of farm field. You think it's all city, but it's not really not.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that there's not more tractor dealerships. And my mom and dad, because they're retired. You guys know my mom and dad.
Yeah.
But they've been helping my sister out, who's also helping her friend out at like Brookdale Farms. Have you heard of Brookdale Farms?
We work on some of their stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was talking to my dad last night about it, and he's like, "Yeah, they bring all their stuff all the way out to Rosebud." And I'm like, "That's amazing."
Yeah.
You would think there'd be something closer. I mean, it's great for business, but you would think there'd be something closer or is it maybe just the stuff closer just isn't reliable mechanic
gateway.
shops?
I wouldn't say it's a highly lucrative business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not as
Like-
lucrative as automotive or UTVs, ATVs. Right now, it's tough.
Really?
Yeah, it's tough. A lot of money involved.
Because of the cost of the parts.
Cost of the parts, cost of dealership,
And that's
everything.
I have heard that now, and I'm not a farmer.
Right.
You know, we have a New Holland tractor out of my farm, but other than that, I don't know a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of this stuff is really new information, so that's actually why it's really exciting to me. But yeah, I remember I was talking to somebody a while back, and they said a lot of people are starting to have to, because of the rise of cost. And now, is that the rise of cost? Is that because of COVID?
I don't know directly, but all I know is fuel costs went up, fertilizer went up, insurance went up, tires went up, everything that's involved in farming went up.
Was it during the COVID era?
Mostly after that COVID.
Yeah, because that's what I was talking to some gentleman that came into my business in Owensville, and that's what they were saying. They're like, the cost of these parts are getting so outrageous.
Yeah.
And what do people do when their tractors break? What do they do? I mean, they have to pay to get them fixed, right?
Yeah.
Now, a tractor, when someone buys a tractor brand new, is it under warranty?
Absolutely.
So it's brand new. It's under warranty. What's the warranty like on a tractor?
Typically 2 years, sometimes longer. But the warranty, it covers specific things. It's a full bumper-to-bumper warranty, but if you crash into something, or sometimes people don't understand.
Yeah.
You're the bearer of
So
bad
cosmetic
news.
stuff's obviously
Cosmetic
not
stuff
covered.
is not. Then they have like extended warranties, which covers powertrain. Nothing like if you don't poke a hole in the radiator, it doesn't cover that. Or if a hydraulic pump goes out, believe it or not, is on the outside of the engine. It's not covered. It's not inside the engine. It's not
So
inside the
anything
transmission.
internal.
Yes, internal is a lot of that. So, and it's getting more difficult to deal with the companies. They want photos. They want this paperwork. I mean, it's very difficult to get your money out of the company.
So when they come to you, and it's a what's that considered?
Warranty.
It's just a warranty job, and so you have to take pictures of it,
Yeah.
send it off to them, and then they send you guys the funds to do it, or do you guys do it ahead of time? If
No,
you
we
guys
do it
think
ahead of time. We have our money invested, and then they reimburse us whatever they feel like.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, because that's exactly when I worked for the Ford dealership.
Yeah.
For a while, that's what they did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they covered some stuff with paint, but yeah, I feel like that's most of dealerships. They're doing a ton of warranty work. Now, do you guys do a lot of warranty work, or you guys do 50-50 of both, or?
I'd say 20% is warranty work.
Really? Because our tractors are pretty reliable.
Yes.
For the most part, they're not changing up the motors all the time.
No.
Like the motor that's on it. If you go buy a brand new, I'm assuming you can buy a brand new 2022 tractor. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying tractor as just a general word for it because I don't know the models and stuff. Is that the same motor that's been on them since?
No, it's modernized.
Yeah.
The motors actually are very, very robust. The things that go wrong are the electronics and the emission stuff that we see. DEF is a thing, diesel exhaust fluid.
Oh, they have that in tractors now.
Oh, yeah.
God, yeah.
Down to 50 horse a lot of times. So
Holy cow.
yeah, so that's
I didn't know that.
yes. So
Pain in the butt,
it's
too.
a pain,
It's
but
a pain in the butt.
Now, are they all? Is there like on a car? Is like on a tractor, just like a car? Is there a computer that runs it all?
yes.
So you can get in. You could be tuning these things and doing all kinds of stuff.
They won't let you tune them.
It's illegal,
It's illegal.
but it's
yes.
possible if someone had the knowledge.
I don't have the knowledge, and I'm
Okay.
not allowed to. They would pull your dealership
Okay.
if you touched one.
Don't do it, people. It's very bad.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, because that kind of stuff like really pulls the power and everything down, don't it?
Oh,
It takes
yeah.
away a lot of the power
It's
from
like
it.
a pickup truck,
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like the big thing on a diesel
Yeah.
pickup truck. You start deleting this stuff,
Yeah,
and then
get
all
a
of a
lot
sudden you
more
get all
power.
this crazy power out of it. Same thing with these tractors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've seen now they have tractors that can basically run themselves, right?
Yeah.
They do.
To an extent.
To an extent, yeah. They have tractors that'll drive themselves. You have to pre-program it and everything, but they have cameras that detect obstacles in the field, and it calls your cell phone and says, "Hey, there's a problem with the tractor. Come out here and check it out."
Oh, you don't even have to be in the tractor.
Yeah.
No, they have them.
You just set it up.
Tractors.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's is that a good or bad thing? Both?
I don't know. I don't.
I think it's going to be some problems with that.
It's not going to work around here. It's
No.
like big farms up north.
Big, flat, square fields.
Yeah, massive ones.
Massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, not little small hay fields that people have around here. They're trying to, with a lot of, because they probably have trouble turning around, I would imagine, too. I'm thinking about my farm, how we have the field, and then it's woods on all edges. And I'm like, how's this thing going to turn around without tearing everything up?
Yeah.
Right.
Is that what the problem probably is?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of technology. They've come a long way with that. They have, like, speaking of turn technology is one of the things New Holland talked about at some of the schools. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention because it didn't apply to me, but they make turns at the end, and so that it can come back all by itself was a huge thing. That was very difficult for them to figure out.
I'm sure.
They also have like combines. You know, you always see the combine unloading into a grain cart. Mm-hmm. They have it where the GPS talks to the combine to the tractor, and it tells it how far to be apart and to come up here and unload. And it
cool.
weighs it, tells it how much it weighs, and it takes it to a specific spot at the edge of the field, and it waits there for somebody to come unload it.
That is amazing.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
That really is amazing.
When everything works. you know.
Yeah, yeah, when everything works.
It works. Yeah.
How long has that technology been around now?
Several years, but
Yeah.
it's getting better and better. It's like it's getting better by leaps and bounds every day. They're
Really?
just working on it tremendously.
I'm sure that's going to help a lot of people make a lot more money, though.
Save money too. Like,
Save money.
When we like
Is that what it is?
Save
Save
money.
money. Not
Yeah,
make more
save
money.
money.
Save money.
Yeah.
Where they don't have to have someone
Yeah.
pay someone to be out in the field
Yeah.
riding the tractor the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, until something breaks.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you can't just go out there and work on it yourself anymore. You got to take it in, just like any other cars. Well, now they have on new cars now. A gentleman that I had on my podcast the other day, he's a mechanic at the Volvo dealership, Bommarito in St.
wow.
Louis. And he was telling me that on the new Volvos, everything basically has its own module in it. And so whenever, like say if a
Yeah.
mirror breaks off the car, you can't just put a new mirror on yourself, plug it in, and it's going to work. You had to have a computer that works directly with Volvo that programs a mirror
That
to make
talks
it
to
work
that
properly.
everywhere, yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, and you can't just Snap-on don't make a tool for it. Nobody,
Wow.
he said nobody he knows makes a tool for it. I'm sure somewhere out there you can get one, but yeah, it seems like that's just how everyone's going. They're making it to where you have to go to certain places. I think Tesla, I don't even think you can buy parts for Teslas. I think if a Tesla breaks down, and I might be wrong here, I don't think I am though. I think they don't have Tesla dealerships. You got to take it back to the factory and have them fix it there. You can't just go to O'Reilly's and pick up a part for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and so I feel like that's how they're going more and more. They're just trying to keep it to where their money's in their pockets, which from the corporation side of the aspect,
That's a good
it's a
idea.
brilliant idea. But from the consumer side of it, it's absolutely terrible. Because you don't want to be out, especially if you're working. You know, it's one thing if you're driving a car, your mirror falls off. You can, ship it off, take a day off on a Friday. But if you're trying to get some work done, and you can't drive your tractor because you got to take it in, you can't fix it yourself. That could be a big problem.
That's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a new push for simplification where, what do you need a computer for your mirror for,
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I even heard like the windshields, this auto driving technology, you got to have it calibrated,
Yeah. No, you do. It's
yeah.
crazy to
Definitely
me.
do.
I don't even like,
Yeah, when I was still doing cars, I remember on the new cars that had everything that worked on the windshield with it. You put it in, and I remember the car because you could take a windshield out, a broken windshield out, put a new one in about an hour and a half, ready to go. You tape it in, they can drive it down the road. It takes 24 hours for the glue to dry, but it's in. But now they would have, because we outsourced all our windshields.
Yes.
So when they brought a guy in, he put the windshield in. If it was on a Monday, there's only one guy that could program all these windshields. So it might be Friday before he comes around to program the windshield. So your car is sitting in the shop for a week just so you can get a windshield programmed.
That sucks.
It does suck. And what do you get, for the small benefit? Is it really even worth it?
Yeah.
It's just these extra gadgets that they're trying to add on to it.
Something that breaks,
So the cost from what tractors were costing to now, have they doubled in price, tripled,
Yes.
quadrupled, doubled
Yes.
at least?
Yes.
And it just can go up and up and up.
It just keeps. I always wonder when it's going to stop.
Yeah.
People ask me when's a good time to buy a tractor. I said now.
Yeah.
They've never gotten cheaper in 30 years.
Really?
No.
The tractor values, like the value of a tractor, is it a good investment?
Yes.
Really?
They go up in value. A lot of guys who bought a tractor in 06, 08 are getting almost what they paid back for it.
Yes.
After
Wow.
that many years of use.
Wow.
Or more.
That is amazing.
It's amazing.
When you could be making money, and see, this is something I never even thought about. That's why I like classic cars myself, because I can buy a classic car, I can drive it.
Yes.
And that's why I have the Camaro I have right now, and GTOs and things like that. I buy them because they're V8 rear-wheel drive cars, and they hold value because there's some collectible to it. But I never thought about a tractor, but now that we're talking about it, I'm like, yeah, I bet there is some value to it.
Absolutely.
Because people use them to make money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, so like restoring it, is there money in restoring them? Someone bought them and fixed them up?
If you got grandpa's old tractor and it's sentimental to you, you'll restore it. But it's
not worth
good
buying
market.
them.
It's not worth buying them and restoring them. You have more money in it than you can get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That seems like a lot. That's how a lot of restorations are, unfortunately. And I was just thinking, I'm like, maybe there's a market for me right there to do on the side. But just basically, if you're in farming, you buy a tractor, it's just a good investment because you'll be able to get your money back.
Right.
There's a lot of people that ask about that at the shop. I know about restoring tractors and stuff. But
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's not. I feel like it'd be a lot, not easy, but it's going to be less to it than a car.
There is a lot
You
less
know,
to
you
it.
just strip the basic panels off, which
Yeah.
is not much to them. Take the wheels, break them down, redo the wheels, redo the frame. To me, I'm like, oh, it sounds like it'd be a lot quicker than a car,
Yeah.
or
Oh,
like
yeah,
a classic
sure.
car where you got to swap the panels out, re-weld them on, take everything off the frame,
Yeah.
clean up the frame and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I was just wondering.
Yeah. You have to be careful of we call them DuPont overhaul. They'll go out and they'll take a spray can or something and just spray right over top of the grease and the oil and the dirt and everything, and it looks good.
Yeah.
Put it on the
Comes
internet,
right off.
looks great.
Yeah.
First time you wash it, it looks like camouflage.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's how a lot of them are too.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've been beat up and they're working on them, and then, Farmer Joe, whoever he is, he just takes a pressure washer to it one day, goes to the local farm store, picks up a gallon of Vansicle,
Yep.
and then sprays it on.
Exactly.
And yeah, I couldn't imagine. But are tractors are they painted single stage or are they base coat, clear coat?
Don't know that.
Really?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
The
So we
paint's
don't
thick.
paint them. When I started at Yershevsky's, I painted some tractors, and we just had enamel, and you just sprayed it on one coat. That was it. No base coat, clear coat, nothing like that. We did outside. There was a piece of concrete that was all these different blue and red and yellow colors because we painted it out there on some jack stands. But EPA told us that was a big no-no. We needed to put up a $30,000 bake booth and mix our paint in a special room, and we're like, nah, we just quit at that time.
Yeah.
It was not worth it. So
Yeah, because once you invest all that money, it's like, how much painting are you guys in? Yeah, I totally understand that. So you actually worked for that tractor company
I
before you worked?
Yershevsky's. Yes, I went to work there the summer of '88 when I got out of school.
Okay.
My dad was one of their better customers, and they were getting older, and they were complaining about help. And they said, my boy can work there. And they kind of, you got to give me out around. And I think my dad basically told him, said, my boy, you need to hire my boy. He'll help you very good. So after that summer of '88, I went back to school, and they're like, you want to work Saturdays? You want to come back next year? I'm like, sure. Why not? So I've been there since 1988.
Who actually bought Rosebud Tractor?
My dad.
Your dad bought it. But when we say bought it, is he run, did he run much or
He was always busy. So my
Or
dad
was
was
he
the
just
mailman in Rosebud.
was he just an investor of it?
investor, I
Pretty
would say,
much, yeah.
because but he owned it, but he was always too busy.
Mm-hmm.
We always say if Dad shows up between 8 in the morning and 4, he broke something.
Oh, he's there to get something fixed.
Yeah, so he's
Sure.
busy playing
Yeah.
on the farm and doing stuff and working
Yeah.
there. He likes to come in and go on trips to pick up equipment, you know.
Loves that. He loves that.
Just to pick stuff up.
Well,
Yeah.
he likes the aspect of it, but he's never really spent a day there, a whole day,
Sure.
you know, working.
I can totally relate with him.
My mom's the one who runs the place. She's the boss.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Still to this
Still
day?
to this day.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's there every day.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I maybe I just never. Because when I come in, I look for Matt. That's
Yeah.
who I look for most of the time. So I guess if I've probably seen her a bunch of times, but I probably just didn't even realize it was your mom or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what does she do? I mean, she works front counter. She does.
No, she does. She's books,
Works.
counting.
So
books.
she's in the back. So
Yeah, she's
you don't
in the
really
back.
get to see her
Yeah,
much.
right?
But
Tells
she's
us
the
what
one
to
that
do.
makes the calls on a lot
Right.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Chews our butts out, you know.
And I mainly do parts and advise on some service. John, my brother, he does some sales and a lot of management,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of this stuff. Doing paperwork, there's so much paperwork and so much
Oh, I
thing you have
believe
to
it.
fill out. Deal with the companies, deal with this, and get somebody to school, and hire and fire, and you know, make sure this is taken care of. I mean, that's a big pain.
Well, yeah, because you guys, so in the operations of the whole business, you guys have the mechanics part of it, but then you guys also have the parts where you guys just sell parts, and then you guys have the retail side of it just
Sales
up front,
department, yes.
and then the whole sales department,
Right.
where you guys are actually selling tractors out
Correct.
front as well.
Yeah.
And then, do you guys have some? You guys aren't? Are you guys with the building next door?
Yeah.
You guys have that? Is
We
that?
bought that house. It was a gun shop. Remember that guy?
Yeah, it was a gun shop. I remember that.
It was Wheelers, I think it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
So we bought it from him. We needed more storage. We needed more parking. We needed a place to put things. So we bought the house, and it was really too good to tear down. So we
Yeah.
just gutted it, and we store parts in there,
Yeah.
Oh, it's just storage.
and like
Yeah.
lawnmowers and stuff. So
Well, because I feel like whenever you guys bought that, I started seeing a lot more of like tractor accessory stuff out
Yeah,
there.
different stuff.
Because I just like right now one of the big things you guys have is like the boom arm
yeah,
with the
yeah.
the
Limb
blade on
blazer.
it.
The limb
Yes.
blazer, yeah.
What's it called?
Limb blazer.
Limb blazer.
It's a 24-inch saw blade, and you put on the end of a skid steer, and you drive around your field, and you can trim limbs.
Yeah.
It's 14 foot long.
So you
That's
guys,
the skid steer plus 14 foot.
yeah,
Beautiful.
you're talking-
Drive
I
around
bet
the
it
farm
is.
You can
and,
make a mess in a hurry, I heard.
Yeah.
yeah, I bet so. I mean, it looks dangerous.
One
It
of my-
looks,
very
it looks
dangerous.
dangerous.
It's dangerous. One of my customers said it's great, but he fixed fence for a month after he trimmed his trees.
Oh.
Because you drop it on the fence, but he
Yeah.
said it did help a bunch because you get rid of those limbs, start encroaching and encroaching on your field and reaching out there for that sunshine, and you want that sunshine to go to your crop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like if you when you're trying to just drive or like if you're trying to do anything, I'm sure those low hanging branches are just a pain in the butt too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it just makes it look nice.
You get a new
Yeah.
$100,000 tractor and you drive under the branch and it rips a $40 light off of it.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
I want to do
I'm gonna
something about
trim some
this.
damn
You know, I'm gonna
trees.
trim some limbs. So
Yeah. What's an attachment like that cost?
that's a good question for the sales department.
Yeah.
Probably $4,400.
Oh, that's not too
It's
bad.
not horrible.
Not as bad as I was thinking.
No, not bad.
I feel like they could put whatever price they want on it.
Yeah.
You know, because that's just I mean it's a very unique tool.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it's very handy.
Very
Oh,
cool.
man.
Very
You
handy.
can go through a tree like, no, like
A
whang.
good yeah, because so this blade on this thing has got to be every bit of a foot.
It's 24 inches.
24 inches. So it's 2 foot.
2 foot, yeah.
This is a 2 foot circular saw blade
Yes.
on top on this boom arm. Because there's some people that might just be listening to this podcast. I want to explain it to them. Like this is a massive boom arm with this massive blade on it. I mean, it looks like a weapon. It looks like a zombie apocalypse type thing that you can stick out in front of it just to take out a bunch of zombies or something. Yeah, that's cool. I bet you guys sold a lot of them.
We have, yes.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I could even see my dad really liking.
Yes.
You know, to be able to just clean up because yeah, anybody with fences, it's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys don't do anything else out of that building. It was just a storage building. You guys just added some
Correct, yeah.
some spots out front.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Now you guys also you guys farm quite a
Yes.
bit? That's what you guys are doing? Because I see Willie all the time.
Yeah.
Driving up and down the road on a tractor. That's
Yeah.
most of the time I see you
That's
out
what
on
I
the
do
highway.
mostly. Just take care of the farm.
So,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our farm, you know where it's at? Out on
Yep.
Soap Creek. Was established in 1857.
Whoa.
So well,
Early settlers
yeah.
here.
They got the original homestead papers from Franklin Pierce signed them, the president of the United States. You know, he signed
Oh,
those
that's cool.
That's
homestead
cool.
papers, and that's where we started. And then my dad, great grandfather, great grandfather, my dad have all
Pass it down.
added to it and passed it down.
So they've all been adding.
Yep,
Like
added
they've
to
been
it.
accumulating land around it. So what did it start out at? Do you know how many acres it started out at?
I would guess 150.
150.
Yeah.
I wonder what he paid for it back then.
I don't know. I think it was a land grant back
Yeah.
then. You had to settle the land, you had to build
I
a
think it was,
house, and you had to like farm so much percent of it.
Yeah.
And if you could prove that was done, then they gave it
Like
to you.
homesteaded,
Like
you
a
know?
homesteading.
Wow.
It was a homestead land grant.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool. So 150 acres to start out with.
Yeah.
Can I ask you how much you have now?
Oh God.
All together with John.
1,200.
John owns 82, so 1,100 something.
1,100.
1,100 acres. Wow.
And it's
That-
growing.
Yeah, that's a lot to take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys don't just like you guys don't just plant stuff on. You guys also have cows, right?
Yeah, we just have cows. We don't plant stuff.
Oh, you guys don't do.
No, we don't do row
We
crop.
used to,
We
but-
used to back in the day, early 90s. We had a combine that was wore out. Planter was wore out. Disc was wore out.
It was
Everything
cheap-
that had to do with
cheaper to buy
it was cheaper to buy corn than
buy
it was
corn
to do
than
it.
it was
So
to
we
even
just
put it
said,
in.
Heck,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
we plant everything in grass and just grow cows because our land is not that suitable for row crops. You know?
Yeah.
you know.
It's hilly.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
hilly.
it's
We got
pretty
some
hilly.
bottom ground, but it's just
Yeah.
not suitable for
Sure.
row crops.
Is the bottom ground is it because it gets too wet?
No, it's just
Not as
got
not
the
as
creek
good.
has gravel in it. It's not like your guys' farm that's on the Burbus, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it has some dirt.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple fields that'd be good for it, but you know.
My dad,
Not enough. To make
Dad
it
had a
worth it.
saying when he's a kid that they run around the farm and picked up rocks.
Yeah. I
They
believe
picked
it.
up enough rocks, they put a fence around the whole thing. And he said when he's done, they had enough left over to put a floor in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so okay, so you guys just have cows on it.
Just cows. And they're mainly my dad's cows and my brother John's cows. And Willie does he's like our farm hand most of the time. He
Yeah.
runs out
I
there.
do a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Does farm hand, gets the cows fed, and then we're like, hey, we need you to deliver this. We need to go fix this. And comes the shop,
Works
does
there,
what we need to
too.
do.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good gig,
Yeah,
Willie.
That's a real good gig. That's a real good gig. I love it.
But we need it. I mean, we need,
I mean, it's
you know.
it has
How
to
m-
be done. There's
yeah,
stuff,
how
there's
many-
some stuff that ain't good.
How much cattle do you guys actually have on it? Is that too much to ask for? Is that too
500
personal?
head?
No.
I mean, if you counted the
Well, John always says cows.
Cows. If
are
it's
the
just
mama
cows,
cows.
180.
And we got bulls.
190.
And we got all the cows have calves. Hopefully, that's how we make money. You
Yeah.
know, you sell the calves off of them. So
Yeah.
Right.
So you
Well, I know a lot of people that have told me I should pick up some cows and toss them on my farm out there and
Yeah.
make some money. But man, it seems like a lot of work.
if you're home all the time, that's good.
Yeah.
If you want to go somewhere for a week, you better have somebody to take care of them for you. You know, and it's
Yeah.
a constant watching them.
Every day. Every day.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, but you guys don't have to give them water and nothing. That's
No, there's
that
certain
part's
times of the year
all-
that you can, turn them out in this pasture and, they'll be good for
Yeah.
a week.
But in the
Summertime-
winters, you have to-
summertime,
Wintertime,
yeah,
you gotta feed
wintertime,
every
you gotta
day.
feed them every day.
and
Yeah.
get out there and they drink out of a pond or something, right? But you got to get out
we
there
have
and break the
cattle
ice.
waters. We put water systems
Oh,
in.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know about-
Yeah, I forgot all
7
about
years ago?
the watering system. So, but
Yeah.
out in the fields, you guys actually have, like a little area set up that.
we have a water line we run from a well, and we dig a trench, and we bring the water line into an automatic cow water.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have enough cattle drinking from that, it doesn't need electricity. The 50-degree water heats, keeps it warm enough. It's super insulated cow water, and
Yeah.
you don't have to put any electric to it.
Oh, cool.
Ground heat.
So you just need enough cows to keep
Not
them
enough
warm.
cows to drink enough water to keep it from freezing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
if you only
pretty
got
cool.
2 cows in there, you got to have something with some heat,
Right.
or a pond or something.
Yeah. Well, we had horses growing up, and I remember having to go out to the farm and break the ice on the
chop
pond
ice,
and stuff.
Chopping ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
that
still
was
do
never
that
fun.
on certain spots. We still got to chop ice, but I just take the loader and I just jab down in the pond with it.
Yeah.
And I try not to fall off in the pond.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably not a good time to fall in either
No,
at that time of
no.
year.
So
So
I
our,
get stuck.
I was just thinking, is that our farm? Right now, they're out there digging clay pits on our farm.
Yeah.
And I was always told by the older relatives that my grandfather or great grandfather sold those clay pits in the Depression, and that's what kept them, kept them from losing the farm and having enough money to do things. Was they sold that clay back in the Depression? So
Sold it off to.
sold it off to the clay companies,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
now they're just now getting around to mining them.
And now, is that on the. Would that be. That's the far side.
So by my
the road.
dad's house, yeah.
Yeah, all the way up on there. Yeah, because, I mean, they're taking quite a bit out of there, too.
Oh, there's what?
Nine clay pits they're digging.
Yeah, I think they got. I don't know. They got a bunch more left to go.
Yeah.
I know. So
Yeah.
I wonder who.
4
How
or
do you
5
get
years.
into that back in the day? That's probably a great business to get into, buying clay pits like
I
that.
don't know.
You don't think so?
A lot of those companies went broke.
Really?
I don't know, poor management. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
that much about it.
It just seems like, man, they really do take a lot out of there. And if they bought them back in the Great Depression, they had to get them pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And then
5 cents a ton.
that's what they're bringing now?
That's
Or
what they
that's
bought
what
them for
back
back
in the
then.
day?
they bought 'em, and it was kind of a guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
they
hey,
guessed
we
at-
think there's 30,000 ton down there. We're gonna give you this for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the day,
That was it.
they just dug this big quarry with straight sides.
Yeah.
It looked like a bomb went off.
Mm-hmm.
Had to be careful so you didn't fall in the thing. But now they reclaim them. Looks like a beautiful pond. It's nice. What they're doing, it looks really nice.
Well, we never had a property that we had to have a clay pit dug out, but there's a few of them that are like, yeah. I mean, because clay pits are pretty dangerous too, because of
They
how
can be.
deep they are.
Yeah, they can be. Yeah.
We was always told not to swim in the clay
Swim,
pit.
yeah.
Because if you get in there swimming, you have trouble. You can't just stand up. It might be 100 foot deep.
Yeah.
And it's straight sides.
Yeah.
How do they get down in there so deep?
They make a little road.
And they actually, just like a quarry, just like a rock quarry. They
yeah,
actually,
make it-
Yeah.
And then they used to always dig them with high lifts and started out with horses and picks and shovels.
Yeah. And dynamite.
And
damn,
dynamite. Yeah.
Lots of dynamite.
people
back in
really
the day.
did work hard back
They
in the
did.
day.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That's
There's
crazy.
if you get a chance, there's a book, The History of Rosebud, that was written by Stephen Crow.
Okay.
And it shows some photos of the early clay pits around here. They actually had a clay pits around Rosebud that were so deep and had so much clay in them, they had what they call a dinky track. And it had a train with this narrow gauge rail that came out of the clay pit and went around through the Rosebud Park and up by like Willis Rethmeyer's and going through Reinhold's now, that campground, and went up and dumped it onto the rail.
Really?
Yeah, there's some cool pictures in there.
That is cool. What's the book called?
I think it's called History of Rosebud or
History
something
of
like that.
Rosebud. And who's it by, you think?
Stephen Crow.
Stephen Crow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like an actual book you can buy on.
I don't know. When they had the 100-year anniversary of Rosebud, they were selling them, and I bought one. So,
Oh, okay. Huh.
yeah.
That's pretty. I would actually like to read that because I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm in Rosebud for a while to stay, so
Yeah.
it might be a day that I would like to pass that knowledge on myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. So that's what they're doing there now. 7 clay pits they're cleaning out of it.
9, I think.
9
Yeah,
clay
9
pits.
altogether. We got 3 dug already.
Yeah.
So
They're moving pretty quick on it then.
They're doing good.
yeah, there's a couple big ones though. They're going to be doing here like in probably next summer.
Yeah.
Probably going to take a year or 2 on one pit.
Well, before that, it used to just be, it was just a field right there.
Yes.
Right when you pass by the highway
Yeah.
or by the county road. But now it's completely cleared out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this big thing. And I had just drove it because I don't travel out down that road very often. But I drove by it the other day. I'm like, holy cow, what are they doing here?
Yeah.
And that's it's exactly what it looked like. It seems like there's a lot of clay pits around our area right now
There are.
that they're all cleaning out. Is it all the same companies?
No, there's a couple different companies. I think
There's 3 I know of.
Tracy Bogler bought one recently.
Yeah.
And they call it Osage Fire Clay.
Osage Fire Clay.
You've seen them guys up on 28 as you go to Owensville, hauling
Yeah.
out up there?
Right there off that main strip.
Yes.
That's who's doing that.
Yes.
Tracy bought the company itself.
Yeah, Jones and Turner, I
Jones
think,
and Turners, yeah.
to do
Wow.
the digging. I don't know all the details.
Tracy don't own the property though.
No.
No, he bought the company that owned the clay pits.
Yeah. He digs the clay for the company that owns the clay pits.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a big one right there. But damn, do they make a mess coming out on the highway? I would hate to be those houses right there right now.
Yeah.
You know, like if you live on a county road, you expect your house to have the dust and everything like that. But when you're buying a house off the main highway, you're not expecting to get all that dust and mess every single day.
Well, it's been so dry lately, so
It's
a
been
lot
really
of
bad.
extra dust.
Yes. Yeah, because we went, was it probably a month and a half without rain?
Yes.
It was quite the stint.
Yeah.
And then
everything was so white and dusty. Even the trees on the roads, you can just see everything was just dusty as crap,
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot because I just, the other day, I just went out and it was Sunday. I just bored, went out and we just cruised some county roads and went out to my farm and stuff like that. And yeah, I was like, my goodness, we need some rain.
Yeah.
And I think it was that night, I think we actually got some rain though.
It was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, we were pretty desperate for it. But the farming season's about over now.
Yeah.
For the year.
Yeah.
Now we're coming to the end of October. What do farmers do in the wintertime? Like what? They take the time off, or they get side jobs, or it depends on the
around here,
person.
A lot, unless they got cows and they're taking care of cows,
Yeah, feed cows every day.
Yeah, because I'll feed up to
What,
the most I
when
feed
it's cold?
when it's cold and everything is out is probably the most I ever fed was 20 something bales, maybe 21 bales
A day.
a day.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's important to have
Yeah.
some.
So and a lot of that's silage hay, so they love it. That's like souped up feed for them,
Yeah.
I think a lot of the row crop farmers, you must say there's not a lot of full-time farmers in this county. They all have second jobs. They help somebody drive a truck when they're not
Yeah.
busy, whatever. They all have second jobs. All
excavate
of
or
them.
something,
Or they're
Sure.
retired. But they,
Yeah,
a lot of them, the row crop guys, they'll fix stuff up. They'll put their combine in their big shop and work it over and get ready for spring.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's about March when they're ready to start hitting it again because they gotta
Start
they gotta
fertilizing.
fertilize the crops and everything like that too.
Right.
So
Work the ground.
I guess that makes sense. There's really only, I don't know, about 5 months where they got some downtime, and if they're working on, because I'm sure stuff's breaking all summer long, and they're just
God.
putting tacking it together or doing whatever just to get it to make it through the season,
Yes.
so they can finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's busy.
Well, it seems like how many cattle you got to get before you can actually start making some money off them? Because you can't just buy one or two and just
No.
do it. It's almost like everything. It's got to be, you got to accumulate.
You gotta have so many, and then you gotta make sure they're not sick, and then you have your cows or your calves and
So many variables too.
and then you're fighting the stock market, if something
Yeah, 'cause cattle goes
wrong
up and
there.
down
Yeah,
just
it
like
goes up and
everything
down,
else.
and if you don't sell at the right time, you're not gonna make nothing. And if feed's up, like right now corn's going up and it's gonna just keep going up. And
Does that make cattle go up when feed goes up?
would
Does that
think
make
so.
cattle?
Makes cattle go down. They're like a seesaw.
It's-
Typically,
it's-
if corn goes up, cattle go down.
down, yep.
Why is that?
Because they want to get X amount of dollars out of it. You're only going to pay so much at the store for hamburger or beef, and my input costs went up, and we're farmers. You just
What do you
take
do?
whatever they give you. You go to the market and they hit the auction. That's it.
Yep.
You don't have a choice. You don't just hold
Yeah.
the cow and say, okay, well, I'm not going to sell it for that. Like a car.
Yeah.
You can say, well, I'm not going to take that.
I'll
for
sit
it.
on it for a little bit
Yeah.
Or a
longer.
tractor. I'm not going to take that much for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, cow, you're done. You're going to sell it.
Yeah, once you loaded them up and take them to the sale barn.
You're done.
Yeah.
You're gonna get what you're gonna get, and hope like
Dang.
you make some money on it.
Yeah, that's got to be a
At least
competitive
pay for your
market.
bills.
Right. Right, hopefully, right? Yeah, and then you have to, once you sell them off and you can get the right, but you watch the market. Surely
Yeah,
you
got
watch
to.
the
Yeah,
market
yeah.
and pay attention.
Oh
and,
yeah.
and then just whenever things are high, you load them up and take
Yeah.
them in.
Because you're going by their weights and stuff, and sometimes it's a good that you hang on to them for a while and put some weight on them, and sometimes it ain't. Because then you got to add your feed cost and you got your time. You got
The time taking care of them and feeding them and maintenance of them.
yeah,
ends up
I mean, your time
draining
is
you out.
worth some money too.
Right.
So
Yeah, no, it certainly is.
what I mean.
And I feel like a lot of people that are in any type of business, which I would consider cattle certainly a business,
Yeah.
they forget about their time and how valuable it is and that they need to be getting paid for it. And sometimes I feel like
Exactly.
when things start to get tough, they just let their
don't-
time just
They don't even
be
add that
wasted.
on. Yeah. They
Yeah.
don't even think about that.
Yeah, and so that's something that I'm really big on right now is like always just trying to value my time. That's a big reason why I got out of Buddy.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to fix these cars up and sell them or do body work on the side for other people, and by the time I invested my time plus just all the materials that went into it to make it right, because you want it to be done right, or then you just either it turns out bad or it doesn't last as long, and then it makes you look bad. And so by my time and material and then electric and everything else, it just really wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
And I love cars, and I always catch myself looking online, and I'll find an old car, old pickup truck, and I want to restore it. And then I start thinking about what the cost of it is, and I'm like, I know better. I know better than to do it. If I want to do it as like just something for myself, just to have fun with, I'll do it. But the money's just not there, and so I'm trying my best to stay away from it now and just really try to focus on some other avenues of revenue that are going to bring some money in, and then maybe one day, because I still have the shop, and I think no matter where I go, I think I'll always keep my tools. A lot of people are like, "Why don't you sell off all your tools?" 'Cause I got tons of money in tools. I'm like, well,
probably paid for.
Yeah, they're definitely paid for.
I wouldn't get rid of
them. They're pretty sentimental to me. They're like I'll sell off any car, I'll sell off any house, I'll sell off anything, but I'm taking my tools with me because at the end of the day, if I go completely belly up, I can always just grab my tools, start working on cars again, and start over that way. And at the end of the day, like that, it's a very, there's something to be ashamed of. Do something like that. And that's not why I got out of it. I just got out of it because it just made more sense to go in some other avenues.
Heck yeah.
So let's go back to Rosebud Tractor.
Okay.
So Rosebud Tractor, you guys just bought a place in Morrison.
Yes.
Oh man.
Where's the place in Morrison going to be at?
It was an established business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when it was established. I don't even know a lot of the history, but we bought it from the Bochting brothers, Kent and Kevin. And I think it was their uncle started it. Alice Chalmers Dealers way back.
So it's been there a while.
It's been there a long time. Yep.
Too.
And then like what's the plan with it? Just same
deal. Sell parts, sell tractors, repair.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be in the spring. You guys open up?
No, it's open. We
opened
up.
it's
we just
opening
bought
right
it,
now.
and it's there. We just bought it in April, I think, is when we finally got the deal done. And we're having some growing pains because then hay season hit us, and we just didn't have time to clean up and do things like we want to and get parts in there, and
Because what kind of dealership was it before? What brand was it
It
selling?
was New Holland as
It
well.
was New Holland.
And it was, they had been an Alice Chalmers dealer in the prior, Agco Alice Chalmers. They had a deal with Agco where if they ever sold it and it got out of the company, if they ever sold their company, it wouldn't be able to be Agco again. So we're not Alice or Agco up there now, but we still work on a lot of them because the mechanics are awesome guys. And they know them top to bottom, inside and out. So
Cool.
Yeah.
they still have a lot of repairs on that stuff.
How do you guys go about? Because that's something like I feel like that's for a business. If you really want to grow, you hit a point in a business where you can only grow so much in one location.
That's right.
So then what do? You almost franchise yourself out, or whatever. Just you grow into a multi-location business. How do you go about managing? Because now you have 3 locations. How do you go about managing the 3 locations? How do you take care of that? How do you watch over someone and make sure that they're running it the way you want it ran?
Well, computers help. You can look on the computer, but it helps a lot in volume because so many parts we buy, freight is a killer, especially today. Freight, since COVID, freight has went nuts. So used to be you bought $500 worth of parts, you got free freight. Then it was $800, then it was $1,500. It's like $2,000. Well, we can divide that up between 3 places and put together something. And somebody's always running from one place to the other, and we can help save people money. And saving $1 is the same as making $1.
Yes, certainly. That's a big point where I'm at in my business right now. Is just because it's crazy that you say like tractor parts. It was $500, then $800, now $1,500 or $2,000
to get free freight.
And because I have supplements that I sell at my gym, and I had to spend $1,500 to get free freight to ship them to my place.
Could you imagine it cuts in your profit margin if you had to pay freight on that? It might be $60 to ship that in.
Yeah.
You know, you'd have to sell 60 bottles of supplement to just pay the freight.
Yeah.
For the freight,
Yeah, and that's exactly why I had started because at first I was like, yeah, that's no biggie. You know, I'll stock up on the stuff. But then what was interesting, what was happening was I was selling, if I sold one product, say if I sold a flavor of one supplement, all of a sudden it's like everybody talked about that one product and then everybody wanted it. So I would sell out of that one flavor of the one product that whole week. And then people would come in and request it. And I would have to put an order in. Well, I only need $200 worth of product, but I need to order
Yes.
$1,500 worth of product to be able to get it for free freight, so I don't have to pay. You know, I don't have to pay all that extra fees. And so it was becoming a big problem for me. And so what I tried to do was, because I didn't have multi-location where I could really stock up on the stuff. So I basically I called it Wilson Fitness Supply, and I was basically trying to get all the gyms around me to. And I would provide all the product. I bought like $25,000 worth of product, stocked it up, and I was like, I will put this product in your store, and I'll give it to you all for free. You don't pay a dime unless it sells. Yeah. And I was like, what it's helping us do is it's helping us eliminate this need to pay this company these freight charges. Because I'm like, I can't be the only one with this problem.
Right.
You know, I can't be the only one that's just selling out of one product and needs to order a little bit. And I'm like, I will pay all the extra money, keep it a large stock here at all times at my location. And then if you guys are out, I'll just deliver it. And I was just going to take a small fee, small cut of the product, the sales, but there's plenty of markup on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, what's crazy is I didn't have any interest in it.
Really?
I had a couple people like, you know, just, I don't know, they heard me out. But yeah, it's really interesting. You would think the gym industry, you think that people would be motivated and looking for options, especially because it's not a lot of money in it.
Right.
But it's like people took a turn the other direction in the fitness industry, and since it's not millions of dollars a year, it's like they just started doing the thing they absolutely shouldn't do and just cheaping out on everything.
Yes.
And living below their means basically. So they didn't want to even take the chance of putting the product in there. And it was really weird. They were doing things that is just like, you know, like me, my mindset is, if there's something I want to do and I can't afford it, find a way to make enough money to be able to afford it.
Right.
Not just find a way to, you know, I'm not going to eat ramen noodles all week to save $5. You know, yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'll find a way to make an extra $5
Sure.
to pay for whatever, you know, or however much money I want to make for whatever I want to get. And so it seems like that's what a lot of these gyms were doing. And I went, because whenever I do something, I just obsess over it and I just try to go all out on it. And I literally went to every gym in a 100-mile radius. Wow. And some of them I never even got a call back from. Because they're 24/7 and they lock their doors and it's by appointment only when you come up. So, and yeah, I would show up and it looked like a ghost town. And then I would call the number and they wouldn't answer. And to me, it's crazy. And yeah, it's not a ton of money in the fitness industry, just because it's, you know, a membership super cheap. The products are cheap. You know, it's just not everybody works out every single day. And so, yeah, it's not the biggest industry in the world, but to me, it's like, I would say a third of my profits are off of supplements and wraps. So I was like,
that's good. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to tell them. Like, this just makes sense to have in there. But
Absolutely.
I gave up on that whole, I tried it. I gave it like 6 months. And then sometimes I feel like with some things, you just got to know when to take it out back and shoot it and call it a day. And then I just readjust it and try to figure out, like, okay, what do I need to do to be able to make this work? And so I just started keeping a larger stock for me and just kind of rolling with it and figuring out the best way to do it.
That's crazy.
And that's kind of, because I was looking into buying a body shop, and then everyone's like, no, Ryan, I think you should, I've had a lot of people tell me, like, you should just stick with the gym. Like, really? The gyms, yeah, because you could have, I have one person. I have a girl, her name's Alexis. She does fantastic. She's a manager of the gym. Cool. And she's great with the customers. She's great with all the paperwork. And she's running the office right now. And I have no fear that she's taking good care of it. But a body shop, you know, it's 10 people it takes to run a body shop. Yeah. You know, the manager, the painter, the body man, the detailers, the secretary.
Yeah. That's 10 people's personal problems you have to deal with.
Yes, exactly. And so they're like, they're like, yeah, you know, just they're like, try getting another gym location. So that's kind of what I'm working on now.
Cool.
That's kind of my idea
cool.
now.
Heck yeah.
And I don't know where it's going to go. I've looked at a few locations. You guys over in Morrison, I actually really like the Herman area. I think they don't have a fitness facility over there, so I'm kind of thinking about it. They have one that's connected to like a nursing home, but it's very, very minimal, you know, not 24 hours, not a lot of the things that most people want in a fitness facility. So, I like Herman. I think it's a nice town.
It's beautiful.
So I think it'd be a great place to grow because I don't think I should stretch out too far. Because at the end of the day, I mean, do you go to Lynn? Do you go to Morrison quite often?
I'm
or?
usually stuck in Rosebud at the parts counter. So
I do a lot of running.
John runs
Yeah.
a lot. My mom runs.
Yeah.
Doing the checking in and stuff.
Because like
Hauling parts, hauling this, grabbing this.
Yeah.
Go get this.
Yeah, you guys are lucky. You guys got. See, that's my problem, and I say lucky. I mean, whatever word you want to use
Really
for it, but
you know.
that's what I think about. Is I'm like, who would I have?
you got Team Ryan.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm like, can I physically
Do all
be
this.
able to go
Yeah.
over there and do that? Yeah, and so that's the way I look at it. I'm like, Herman's not that far.
Yeah.
I could do that in a day. I could do that every single day, and it's
Yeah.
not a big deal. St. Louis, I couldn't drive to St. Louis every single day. That's just way
A
too
lot
much.
of people do, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah.
I was driving to Washington, which is 45 minutes away, and I felt like I got stuck behind
Yeah.
every slow driver every single
Every
day.
day.
Every day.
And it was
Every day.
just, yeah, and people don't,
You're like, get out of the way.
when people do it every day, there's so much stress involved in it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, when people are driving any more than 30 minutes a day, they really are stressed out,
Yeah.
yelling at the car in front of them to go faster or getting in an accident. There's a ton of stress in it. And I just, driving to Owensville, which is 5-10 minutes from here,
Yeah.
you know, I have no stress. No driving stress, at least.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, and I think people neglect that. I think they just get so used to the stresses of driving these long
routine.
distance every day. Yeah, the
The
routine.
routine, man.
That's like, I don't know. You should try not doing it for a while and see how much better your life gets.
Yeah.
It really does get. It's worth some money for sure. I'm sure all that stress has got to be taking some time off some people's lives.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
So, what you guys want to grow? Like, is this? And also, you guys are Rosebud Tractor. You know, and now you guys are Rosebud Tractor in Morrison, Rosebud Tractor in Lynn. Will it always be Rosebud Tractor? You think? Or you think
know.
you guys would change that?
You see a lot of these companies merging and getting bigger. I mean, hell, I've been doing it 30 some years, you know, and a lot of people that were my age in high school, they're retired. They're retiring. Like,
Yeah.
It's great. I'm like,
Yeah.
how can you retire?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, well, I had my job and I got this pension. I'm like, oh boy, you know, I don't know. I want to retire someday
Yeah.
before I just keel over dead in the tractor shop, you know.
Sure. Sure.
I want to
Well,
retire.
you-
So I think, and if we have another generation coming up that wants to take over, by all means, we'll help you out. So
Yeah.
So you think you would, if the right person approached you, you guys would sell out?
I don't know.
Or
Probably.
You think so, huh?
I don't know. Everybody has a price.
Yeah.
You know, you
There's
think,
a
oh
price for
no,
everything.
pride. But when we bought Lynn and when we bought Morrison, they were more concerned about their customers and their help. They did not seem selfish. Most of these people, when you go look at them, they're worried about someone stepping in and continuing on and taking care of the customer and taking care of this is family. It's their family. You're with them more than your own family. You're there 8 hours, 10 hours a day. You know?
Yeah.
They want you to be able to continue on what they've started.
Yeah.
And that's more important to them than the money and anything, you know? So, we kind of feel the same way too.
I was about to say, I think it should be like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's definitely what you want.
Yeah.
Like that's that's a recipe for a good,
Like it's
successful
almost like
business.
your family, you know.
Right.
You know.
And I've met some of the most greatest, wonderful people as customers. They're just amazing, amazing people
Over in Morrison
everywhere.
and
All
Lynn,
over.
everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my family's been using you guys for everything for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Like that's just, I wouldn't even think, like if I was ever going to get a tractor, if I ever had to get something done, I wouldn't even think about going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like wouldn't even question it. But yeah, well, yeah, that is cool to see that like the people over in Morrison, they were like that because that's super important because like you said, people can just get greedy and they'll they'll sell out to whoever wants to give
They
them a
don't care about
paycheck.
people, but
Yeah.
most of these people in our business, they care genuinely for the customer and genuinely for the people who help them and work for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And because I just bought some billboards
Yeah.
off a guy. I got 11 billboards, and a lot of these billboards they're leased out on land. You don't actually own the land that these billboards sit on.
Correct.
And I, whenever looking at the billboards, I can only talk to the guy that owns the billboards. I can't talk to the people renting the billboards, and I can't talk to people leasing the land that they're sitting on. And yeah, not until I buy them.
Right.
He doesn't release all that to where I can just go and start calling around and stuff. So once I bought them, that's when I start doing these calls. I start making these calls. And the first one I called, they didn't answer. I haven't heard back from him yet, the lease owner. But the second one, he chewed me a new one as soon as I called him. Started chewing me out. And I'm just going to spare you the details on what he said. But come to find out, this guy that used to own these billboards was not a very nice guy. And it was all about the money to him.
Wow.
And he thought because he had a contract for the lease of the land that he could basically control what this gentleman did on his property.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and that's what he was so upset about is that, he was just basically trying to assert some dominance right off the bat to let me know that, I don't know what you think's included in this contract, but this isn't your land, and you can't do whatever you want on it. You can't tell me what I can do on it. And it took me like 10 minutes because I'm not that kind of person at all. To me, things like that are an investment, and I'm just trying to do it for the betterment of my future and my future generation's future.
Right.
And that's something it took me a little bit to just kind of work with them and talk with them and butter them up almost a little bit and just tell them like, hey, I'm not.
Reassure him.
Yeah, I had to just reassure them that, hey, I bought this and I'm calling you right now because I would like to just come out and meet you in person, shake your hand, put a face with a name. And, I'm like, this, all I care about is the billboard. I'm like, I would love to be able to keep the billboard there. I hope we can get along. And because apparently this other guy, the guy wanted to plant some trees along his fence row, and the guy didn't want him to do it. It was, he was fighting him to be able to put trees on his own land. And
Wow.
And I was like, hey, I don't care what you do. I'm like, I'm grateful to have, this billboard on your land, and I appreciate that you even let me have the opportunity to be able to do this here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care what you do. And so I still have yet to go out there and meet him. This was just last week. He's a trucker, so he's on the road a lot. But I was like,
That stress from traffic.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah. Yeah. So, and he actually, by the end of the phone call, he was thanking me.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm so glad you bought this because he's like, this other guy was such a jerk. And I'm like, I don't know why people have to be like that.
Yeah.
I don't either.
I'm like,
no
life is
reason to be
just
like
way
that.
too short for that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're in this together. It's your land. It's my billboards. We're in this together. We should find a way to get along.
Absolutely.
And I just don't understand it. It just doesn't make sense to me. You're way better off just to find a way to make it work.
You bet.
That's why I enjoy doing things on my own, so I don't have to try to work with other people. And because I've flipped some houses with some other people, and I've gone in some investments with some other people, and that's usually when people start to butt heads. But
Yeah.
in this situation, I need somebody else. I need their land.
Yeah.
So you think you'll get some more locations for Rosebud Tractor?
It's not in the future plans now.
Was Morrison though?
Not really.
No,
It just,
How'd that come about even?
I think John took care of all that.
Yeah.
And
We should have John out today. You think he would have came on?
New Holland. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Maybe.
yeah.
But
Well, you should have brought him on.
he, I think our New Holland sales rep mentioned to John about buying it, and I said, depends on. He shot to me first, and I was like, well, Lynn could absorb towards Chamois, we could absorb towards Herman, and the Fulton dealership could absorb across the river, but. And he started explaining, how the benefits of having another location, how great the employees were up there. And I was like, okay, well, I'm on board. So
Why the sales rep? What benefit did it have to the sales rep?
So the sales rep doesn't want to lose that location for
Yeah.
a New Holland dealership. They want to keep their dealerships in that place. So
So the Morrison location was up for sale.
It's
Assumably.
not like they put a billboard out there and talk to the real estate people. They mention it to their salesperson.
Yeah.
And then the salesperson goes, well, I'll go hit up the locals and see what they say, you know. Mm-hmm. So,
I feel like that's how a lot of businesses go up for sale.
yeah.
You know, just behind closed doors, private thing.
Probably a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know?
Like
I'm
when we
sure
bought
it is.
Fitness parlor. I mean, I'm sure there wasn't a sign on the door, you know.
Yeah. No, I was actually looking for another building, and they had approached me, and they're like, "Hey, would you be interested in our building?" I don't know if they were just wanting to. Well, they had sold out because they were therapy and a gym.
Yes.
And they had sold out their therapy company to Peak Sport and Spine, which they have 70 different locations.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, massive.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I don't know because I had a different idea at the time, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with a 10,000 square foot building. It's a big building for what I needed. Maybe 5,000. Not that I didn't like it, but I was just like, I don't know what I would do with that much space. And then they're like, well, we would actually be interested in selling out the gym. Like they're like, we would walk away from the gym. And I was already active in the fitness facilities, like in the fitness industry. And there's something that I knew the community needed. I always liked the idea of it. It was kind of something that was in the back of my brain, had pondered on it before, but it was just, we had 2 gyms in the town.
Yeah.
Why did we need a third?
Right.
And so I just didn't want to. I didn't want to have to try to compete. It wasn't worth it to me. And then they told me they'd sell. And I was like, all right, let's see if we can make something happen here. But yeah, and it's a lot of times that's like the big thing is you just got to go out and try. I feel like a lot of people my age right now, they're too scared to go out and try something.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, what if it doesn't work out, or they don't know if it'll happen. And I've gotten so much stuff by just trying. And there's things that I didn't even know was going to be an option for me until I started getting into it, and then it ended up more stuff. Like the silver I was talking about before the podcast. It was because I started this podcast, which was just on a whim. I knew I needed a networking tool. This was a great networking tool for me, I felt like. And I needed help growing myself.
Right.
And that's why I asked you about, what, like with how you manage locations and stuff like that, because I'm thinking about getting more locations. So it's like, I need some advice, and I want to know how other people are doing it, because I feel like that's where a lot of people fail. They just don't know how to handle it or how to go into it. But I got this silver deal because I was talking about silver on the podcast.
That's good.
So if I would have never started the podcast, I would have never got that offer.
Yeah.
And so it's a big thing in just trying.
Yeah.
And you'll be really surprised what'll come your way.
Yep.
So no new locations. More since probably the end of it.
For now, so I don't know where we would go.
Is John the same age as you, roughly?
John's the oldest.
How much older?
18 months older than me.
Okay, so not that much older.
And then Willie's 7 years younger than me.
So Willie, you're in it for a while still.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're probably hoping they don't sell out just
God.
yet. You're probably hoping they don't sell out anytime soon.
Not really. I mean, it's I'm probably got the best job of all of them, because I kind of, I go out to the farm, I fix fence, I do stuff to the tractors out there. I've learned a lot since we've all had that, and it's just been and everything that you can learn, it actually helps your brain, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Stimulating.
Yeah, it's actually cool.
Yeah, you don't want to
once
just
you
sit
start
back
figuring
on cruise
something back,
control. You're always learning something new, always learning.
Yeah.
It's just like you got to go out and get it.
You'll
it's
try.
out there.
Try.
You
Yeah.
got to go out and get it.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
millions of dollars out there. You just got to go get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
And
all
this
you gotta
is
do.
the best time probably ever in history to
Right.
be able to make money.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to do it.
So much to do out
And
there. you know?
yeah, that's exactly. That's exactly where I'm at right now. Is that that's why I left the body shop too. Is because I felt like I was just stuck in this spot. I wasn't learning anything new.
Yeah.
I knew how to do everything
You're
I
only
could
gonna
do.
get so far.
Yeah,
you know?
and I just wasn't being fulfilled every day.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to go out, and that's why I do so many different things,
Yeah.
because it's very stimulating. It's
Heck yeah.
it's
Kind
very
of rare for someone your age, actually. They like to go get them a job, and everybody has their own thing, but you're pretty rare.
yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, I like it, but it sucks because it's also hard to find people that I enjoy to be around.
Right.
Because, I like to talk about new things and new ideas and
Right.
ambitious about a lot of stuff. And you get to talk to some people and they're scared of it all. And
Yes.
they shut your ideas down. They tell them it's bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, you kind of just got to block those things out
Yeah.
and just stay focused on it and
Be positive.
stay positive about
positive.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Be
I've just learned to
Unless
love
they
it.
tell you don't do meth. Then listen to
then
him.
probably listen
Don't
to
do
him.
that.
Don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Those are the kind of things that
It didn't work out.
Well, do you guys think we should wrap it up here? I think we're a little over an hour in.
Cool.
Unless you guys have anything you guys want to talk about? Any big and upcoming events you guys want to shout out or anything like that?
Just in Rosebud, they're building a campground out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys are coming to
Huge.
Rosebud,
Yeah.
and I think that's going to really make a big difference.
It's gonna be cool.
It
And he's
is.
going all out. I mean, you gotta go check this thing out. It's amazing.
Yeah. Anyone in the Missouri area,
Yes.
when you're coming down, if you go on the Lake of the Ozarks, try to make it to where you go down 50
Yeah.
and cut across that
Come and
way.
Check everything out.
Yeah, and because Rosebud's really starting to blow up.
It is.
Yeah.
Just with all the neat things they do, and they do stuff for every big holiday now. Christmas is huge. They have the Christmas tree, and it's almost like a Hallmark.
Yeah. 4th of July
yeah,
thing
scene.
started out with
Yeah.
the McCurry boys shooting off fireworks in their backyard, and the neighbors just coming around and here's some money, go buy some more fireworks. We like that.
Yeah,
You know, and it just blew up.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because 4th of July is Rosebud is the place to go. 4th of July fireworks, and it's the people that are coming into Rosebud too are great.
Yes.
You know, very, very passionate about growing Rosebud, putting the money back into it, doing it right. John Breer with Rosebud General Store is great. You guys are great. Some of these ladies that are opening up boutiques and boutiques or whatever you want to call them, those are great for business. It gives some people some stuff to do. The antique shops.
Yeah.
Jerry Reinhold with this massive RV park.
Yeah.
Yes.
Massive RV. I mean, I don't know. When do you think he'll have it done? How many?
How many lots is going to be?
I think 150 spots.
150 spots.
Yeah, he's got meeting rooms. He's got
Cool.
He's putting a
building
pool
in
in.
the process of building a 40 by 80 pool.
Wow.
He's already has jungle gyms and stuff for kids to play on, and a basketball court.
I was gonna say, I thought I seen an outdoor basketball court there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll do anything else.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole,
It'll be top notch too. It's
Yeah.
not some.
and it's gonna be like an RV park where you live at,
I don't know. Yeah, you can stay there.
or you
as long
think
as
it's just
want.
like a rental
I think
where people
both.
come out for the weekend,
Both.
Yeah.
they stay there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. You have to ask Jerry.
Yeah, I never met Jerry before.
Oh, you got to have him on. He's very.
You think he would come on?
You could ask him. I can give you his number.
Okay, cool. I'll take that. Yeah, because I really love it. I mean, that dude's he's pretty big.
Yeah.
He's pretty big, and he's doing some pretty big stuff
He's a
too.
workaholic. That's him too. Kind of like you. He does not sit still.
Yeah.
Never.
Sunday, I see him working on Sunday.
He's always
Just running
going.
around doing something. Always doing something.
Yeah, see, stuff like that to me is very inspirational. I love seeing people like that because I am like that.
You bet.
Yeah, so I think that'd be great to have him on. So yeah, let's do that, and then like the bars and everything. There's plenty. Literally, the whole family could come to Rosebud and have something to do.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
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 So make sure you guys come through there, and then make sure you go. You guys have Facebook or anything?
We have Facebook. We have a website, rosebudtractor.com.
Yeah. Facebook's just Rosebud Tractor.
I don't know.
I think so.
think
yeah.
so.
That's
I'm not super technical. I'm
Yeah.
It's
more.
it's on Rosebud Tractor.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
Go check them out, you guys.
Heck yeah.
Give them a like. Stop in next time. Anything you guys ever need fixed, like anything. I mean, you guys do all the way down to chainsaws and weed eaters too,
Weeders,
all the way
chainsaws,
up to
chainsaws.
tractors.
Yes.
Any type of
Yep.
farm equipment you guys work on, right?
That's right.
So make sure if you guys ever need anything like that, go check them out.
Yeah.
If you guys could, because I always forget to plug myself, make sure you guys like and subscribe this, and then share it on any social media, anything like that. I always forget to tell them that, and I feel like that's a big part of me growing.
It is. Yes.
Also,
yeah.
before you guys go, can I get you guys to sign my banner?
Oh heck yeah.
Just sign Rosebud Tractor and both of you guys' names on it. Sign it wherever you want. There's fountain pen right there. This space right here is kind of empty. You guys want to?
Yeah.
Could you
Go
guys
ahead.
sign it there?
Sure.
Go there, Matt.
Come around this side, you want? Yeah, it's kind of a jungle to get through here. I do appreciate you guys coming on though.
Yeah.
This was good.